Hey everybody, Buzz Miller, Wannabe Studios. Today we are going to do a very quick lesson. I'm going to try to make it quick even though it's probably going to end up being 10 minutes. I'd really like it to be about 5, but I tend to just keep on talking. If you already know about keys and you know about relative minors and you know about triads and you know which chords are minor and major in which key, forget about it. Go to a different lesson, go to a different video. I'm going to be wasting your time. If you don't know those things, I'm going to try to teach them in a very simple and easy to understand way to give you a basis for building all of your musical knowledge. Not the guitar musical knowledge, but the musical knowledge of a keyboard player, of a composer, of someday we're going to be sitting in with a band and they're going to hope that we know certain things. Not just, hey, I know how to play 7 Metallica songs, but actually know a little bit about music. If you're one of those people like me that needs a little help with this, stay tuned. I hope to be able to teach you something. We are going to live today in the key of C major. Why C major? There's 2 reasons we live in C major when we're learning. First and most importantly, the notes of the C major have no sharps and no flats. When you look at a piece of music and you look over to the far left and there's nothing there before the music starts, that's C major. No sharps, no flats. What are the notes in C major? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. There's 7 notes in every key. Those are the 7 notes. No A sharp, B flat, nuh-uh. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And then you're back to C, which is your octave, and then you keep going. We are going to look at this in how many steps. So from our C, find your C on your guitar. You're going to go 1 step. 1 more step. Half step. Full step. Full step. Full step. Half step. Full step. Full step. Half step. Full step, full step, full step, half step. That is major. If we're going to play that modally, we're going to go. That is C major. What is the relative minor for a standard major key? Just drop 3 notes. You got C? Go. 1, 2, 3. We are at an A. A minor is the relative minor of C major. It's always that. Drop 3 notes. That is your relative minor. So if you're playing in C major or in G major, drop 3 notes. E minor. Oh, we're in Metallica territory there. And a lot of hard rock and a lot of metal. The second reason we're going to talk about C major today is A minor is very common for guitar players. Van Halen loved it. A lot of the people that followed Van Halen loved it. You look at a lot of the hair metal of the 80s. We loved A minor. It's fun to solo in. It's really nice because all of our open notes are pretty happy with it. So we like A minor. Next, how do we know what chords are major in a key and how do we know what chords are minor in a key? I'm dyslexic, so don't ask me numbers, don't ask me letters. Don't ask me what note this is, because I'm going to have to sit there and go tappa, 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 tappa. But I can do patterns. I can do that kind of thing real well. So we are in C major. There are 3 major chords in C major. They are 1, 4, 5. So, if we're in C major, we just play Louie Louie. Or Twist and Shout, or like 50 different songs from that era that always follow 1, 4, 5. Those are our 3 major chords in our major key. How easy is this? What are the 3 minor chords in our major key or our relative minor. Drop 3 and go 1, 4, 5. Seriously, those are our 3 minor chords. That's a kind of a haunting, ominous Louie Louie. Those are our 6 chords. 3 major, 3 minor. There's 7 notes. There's 1 note that doesn't have a major or a minor chord. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Triads. What are triads? Tri means 3. Means 3 notes that tell you what chord you're in. We're guitar players. We think of 3 as 158, 158, 158. Why? Because, well, first of all, we're cheaters. If you play the 158 and nothing more, we never tell the listener if we're in a major chord or a minor chord. We never tell the listener if we're in a major key or a minor key. Because 158 does not dictate if it's major or minor. You need the third to do that. So we're going to leave our mind as guitarists and we're going to start thinking about keyboard players. We're going to start thinking about composers. We're going to start thinking about people that see a chord other than a 158. We're going to deal with 1, 3, 5. Why 3? Because the third determines if that is a minor chord or a major chord. We're C. We're major. There. There's our third. If we flattened it, that's a minor chord. Happy? Ominous. So we're going to go down 1 fret, or 1 octave. So our C is major. Going to go up, full step, that's minor. Up, full step, that's minor. Up a half step, that's major. Up a full step, major. Up a full step, minor. Here's the tough one. Up a full step. We're going to have the minor third, but rather than play the octave, oh, that's not in the key of C major. Some guitar classes will tell you to play that 5th. That's kind of a guitar thing to do. We're going to talk about a musical thing to do. We're going to talk about an orchestral thing to do, a keyboard thing to do, and that is to play that chord as the diminished chord. That is what is in the key, is the diminished chord. How is it diminished? It has the flatted third that a minor would have, but rather than have the 5th, that's flatted. So let's go up to here. So here's our major C. Let's go down a half step, and if it were minor, it would be, but that's not in key. So we pull it back 1. So we're actually playing root. As you hear that chord, you realize that's not a destination chord. That's a transition chord. That wants to go somewhere. And there's 2 natural places it can go. It can go right back up to the major, or if you want to take it on a little bit of a root, we go down to the A minor, move around a little, and then it can come back to the C major. So if we've got a statue and we're playing, it's like the statue's falling over and then we resolve it back up. If we want those kind of textures in our music, we need to be able to use that chord and use some of the minor ideas in some of our major chord progressions to add some texture, to add some dimension. Metallica's great because they come at you hard and heavy, and they go real soft and light and do some musical things, and then back to angry, and then light and mystical, and then back to angry. If you're playing all anger all the time, it gets boring real quick. It's like a nice meal. You don't want a meal full of pepper, but that pepper of screaming or of anger, you want it there, because you want to throw that on your potatoes and gravy, because if you got really good pepper, it adds to it. That's what anger, meanness, diminished chords, even minor chords in some places are going to add our texture. They're going to add our dimension. We don't want to live there forever. So If you can learn just this. You know all the chords in that key. You know which ones are major and minor. You know that I can play this. And have something to go underneath, a cool little solo piece. Or I can transition from this part of my solo that's way down here on these strings, and I kind of want to move up to do an octave. If I ran through some triads and went up, rather than just going, transition from down here to up here by doing something with some triads to not only change your texture, but also move from one part of the fretboard to the other part without just going, change, which makes it sound more smooth, makes it sound more mature. If you know what your minor key is off of your relative major, if you know which chords are supposed to be major, which are minor, and you know how to build some triads, you know enough to start your musical journey. You know enough. We don't care about black keys and white keys. We just move this. Okay, let's do A major. How do you find your minor? Cool. Okay, let's do anything. We just slide back and forth because we don't care about that. We can make anything flat or sharp by just moving up frets or moving down frets. There's your basis. Hey, I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about music, about theory, about the basis of things like keys. I hope this helps you on your musical journey. I hope this helps you make and write better songs. I hope it helps you be somewhere tomorrow you weren't today. If you can practice these ideas, if you can understand them, you can write better songs, you can be a better musician, and you can start on your musical journey. Isn't that what we're all about? I know that's what I'm about. I want to start my musical journey. So this is Buzz Miller saying, hey, learn that key, learn those notes, follow that triad pattern, and keep on rocking. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, email me direct. If you have any comments or otherwise, or just want to yell at me and say I'm stupid or I cut my head off in this video, feel free to do so in the comments. We'll catch you later.